Hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, we got a fun children's door sign. Well, there is a certain children's television program that has been around forever, it seems. It was popular when I was a child, and it's just as popular today. It has all kinds of lovable characters, and the kids just seem to love it. And as soon as you see the sign, you're going to know exactly what show I'm talking about. So today, I thought it would be fun to make my granddaughter a sign that mimics that children's show, but it has her name in it. Instead of Street, it will be her name, Ellie Street. So that's what we're going to do today. And I'm going to show you guys how to do it. And it starts off with a little bit of 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch thick plywood. So to start this project, we have 3 pieces of plywood. 1 is 1/2 inch thick and 2 are 1/4 inch thick. And they all measure 5 inches wide and 15 inches long. So we're going to put them all aside except for 1 piece of the 1/4 inch, and on that we're going to do our layout. The first thing we want to do end to end on our 15 inch length is we want to place a line at 1/4 inch up from the bottom. And then we want to place another line at 3 inches up and as well at 2 3/4. We're now going to flip this around, and we need to place a line here at the end between our line at 3 inches and the end of the board. We need to place a line 1/4 inch in. And from the same end of the board, we will place a mark at 6 inches all the way across our board. This is our center line. And then down at this end of the board, we will place a line at 12 inches. And then one at 11 3/4. So this is almost all of our layout done, believe it or not. Now, using a circle template, or you could use a compass if you like, on each of these corners, both the inside ones and the outside ones, we are going to round them off with a 1 inch diameter circle. Like that. So we will do that at all 4 corners. And now I have set my compass here to 1 3/4 inch radius. I'm going to use the bottom line right here on our center point. And I am going to draw that 1 3/4 inch radius right on the top here. And then we will measure in from the edge of where that circle meets the top line. We'll measure in 1/4 inch. We will set our compass back into that pivot point here, adjust it to that line at 1/4 inch, and we will draw that radius. Now we will take our 1 inch circle template, and just like we did with the outer corners, we are going to round off where this sign, or where this arc, meets the top of our sign. Just like that. And as well in the corners here where this arc meets the top line of the sign, we're going to round that off. I think I'm going to use a 3/8 diameter in that corner. So 1 here and on this side. Like that. Recognize the sign? I hope so. So what we need to do now is I want to tape the 2/4-inch pieces together all the way around the edges. We will tape these together because we're going to stack cut them. And what I want to do is we are going to cut all of the interior cuts only. So that will be inside this box right here and inside this little arc here. So let's head over to the scroll saw. So I have a number 7 reverse tooth blade here in the saw. It may be a little overkill for this. I could probably get away with a number 3. But I'm going to give it a try, see what happens here. And we're going to cut both of these at the same time, cutting as carefully as we can because these are the final cuts on these interior sections. You won't get a chance to clean them up later. All right, and with that we can untape this, and what we'll end up with is two outer pieces of our sign. So for the next step, what I want to do is I want to take our 1/2 inch thick plywood. We're going to give this a sanding on both sides to make sure it's nice and smooth. And then I want to take our 2/4 inch thick pieces, just like this, and I want to glue them to our 1/2 inch piece. Now you want to make sure that you have the cutting on the right side. See that? You don't want them like this, so that when you look at it, you get this. That's not going to work. You have to make sure that they're both on the same side. I am going to get these all glued together, clamped up and secured, and let them fully cure. Be sure to clean out your squeeze out that's here on the inside, and I'll see you when this is all dried up. And now with our glue up dry, we need to add 2 more lines. So starting from the bottom of the sign here, we're going to place a line at 1 inch, just like that, and then another one at 2 inches. Just like that. And now we can take this over to the scroll saw and we will cut out around the whole perimeter of our sign. And at this point, we're just going to take it over to the belt sander. I'm going to clean up any edges. There's a little bit of squeeze out here that I missed. So I'm going to clean up the edges, and then we can give it a good sanding all over. Well, I now need to make a mounting block to be able to have our sign hang on the wall. And that's what this piece of cherry is for. This piece of cherry is 4¼ inches long, it's 2 inches wide, and it's 1¼ inches thick. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to cut a hole right in the middle that will mimic this end stem. So in other words, I want to cut a mortise in here to take the tenon of our sign. So all I'm going to do is take a measurement here of this end stem. I will mark it out, and again, I will cut it at the scroll saw. Just take it nice and slow and let the blade do its job. And once you get that hole cut, we can just pop our sign in there just like that. We'll make sure that it's flush to the back and that the sign is sitting squarely to our bracket here. My hole is a little long in the length but a little tight in the width. So I'm going to leave it like that. And what we're going to do is I'm going to take it over to the drill press, and right in the center of our arm here and right in the center of our block, I'm going to drill a 1/4 inch through hole. That will accept a 1/4 inch dowel a little later on when we actually hang this sign. So I'm going to get that hole drilled, and then we can carry on from there. And after this bracket gets hung on the wall and your sign is inserted, you'll just put a 1/4 inch pin in there, and that will keep it from falling out. So I'm going to take this apart, and the first thing I'm going to do here at this point now is I want to mark for our mounting holes. I'm going to drill and countersink for a number 8 by possibly 2 inch screw, it looks like, or 2.5, and I will also put a 1/4 inch round over all the way around the top surface, just to make it a little prettier. And that there is all she wrote for the mounting block. So at this point now, there's not much we can do until we do a little bit of painting. And as much as I hate painting, this thing screams for it. So any of this interior surface in here on both sides, both here and here, that gets painted green. Around the perimeter of the sign and all of this trim gets painted yellow. What I would do is I would mask off that straight line there so that your mounting arm stays the color of the wood. But paint up your sign green and yellow, and then I'll show you what we're going to do with this next. And once you get all your painting done, you end up with something that looks like this. This is awesome. I'm going to give you a little piece of advice. A lot of people don't know this, but you can go to your local big box store and they sell little samplers of paint. It's like 8 ounces of paint, 1 cup of paint. You can have them custom mix it to whatever you want, and it's less than $5 each. So I was able to get the custom green and the yellow that I wanted for this sign to make it look like this. And you can do the same. So check out your local big box store and get them to custom mix this stuff. Either way, this was latex semi-gloss paint, and it's now time to do the white lettering inside. And there's several ways you can do this. You can stencil it on and paint it. You can freehand it and paint it. Whatever you want to do. But for me, I have access to a Cricut cutter machine. And you've seen me use it here before on the show. I'm going to cut out the letters for this, and then I'm going to place them very carefully on our sign. And you end up with just a wonderful, professional looking product. It looks great. I'm not going to get into how to set up the machine and all that. If you're interested, I can post the link to the tutorial for the Cricut cutter down below. But it does add a real professional look to your projects. So add your lettering to your sign, whether it be by paint or vinyl, as I've done, or whatever you want to do. And then all that's left to do is hang your sign up. And there you have it, a children's bedroom sign. Guys, this project turned out absolutely incredible. I just love the way it looked. My granddaughter loves it. My daughter loves it. It is absolutely amazing. It turned out great. And one of the big things that makes it turn out so wonderful are the bright, vibrant colors and the crisp, clean lines of those letters. Honestly, if you can get access to a Cricut cutter to cut these vinyl letters, do it. It will really boost your projects to the next level when you do lettering and that sort of thing. If not, there's no reason that you cannot cut out these letters out of vinyl by hand with a ruler and an X-Acto knife. Just some careful cutting, guys. Heck, you could even cut them out with scissors and then peel them from their backing and lay them in place. There's no reason you can't do that. There's also no reason that you can't just stencil these on or just freehand paint them. Remember it for what it is, and it's a craft. It is not a piece of fine woodworking, although it looks pretty awesome. I think the other thing that really made this project kind of pop was the raised edges of the sign. And doing that interior cut method and then gluing it around a core and then cutting the exterior method or the exterior perimeter, it gives it that three-dimensional look. And that really gives it the extra look that you're looking for. It gives it that extra something special. Either way, guys, this is a beautiful sign. If my 2-year-old granddaughter loves it, then I'm telling you, your granddaughter or child or niece or nephew or whoever, they are going to love it too, because this really is one heck of a cool sign. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you've enjoyed today's project. It's not a difficult one, but it is time consuming with the painting. But we're never in a rush here on the show, are we? If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. You click that bell and then you won't miss the notifications of future episodes of the show. Guys, this one's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I hope that you enjoyed today's show, guys. I hope that you enjoyed the content. I hope you're going to try this for yourself and for your little ones in your life. And more importantly, I hope you're going to join me again next week when I bring you yet another woodworking video.